Pastor Ed here with Daily Devotions for Wednesday, April the 9th, 2025. Continue our week of focusing on Dietrich Bonhoeffer, the German Lutheran pastor and theologian who died on this day 80 years ago. Actually was executed. He was hung at the Flossenburg concentration camp. And so I want to especially mark this day and remember him for his brave and courageous stand against what was happening in his country, against the Nazi takeover of Germany, and in particular the dictator Adolf Hitler. If you've heard some of my previous videos, Bonhoeffer, partly as a way to avoid the draft, but he was enlisted by his brother-in-law to work for the Abwehr, which was the German military intelligence, but which was all kind of the hotbed, the center of the resistance in Germany against Hitler and the Nazis. And he in effect was a double agent. He was supposed to be going in his travels in ecumenical circles to get information and bring it back to Germany, but really what he was doing at the same time, and even more so, was sharing information from the German resistance to the Allies through, again, his church ecumenical contacts. What ultimately happened, though, is his name appeared on a list, and so when they started rounding people up after the failed assassination attempt in July of 1944, that kind of sealed his fate. He had already been in prison at that point, but that implication, that connection that he had, even though he was on the periphery, he was not an assassin. He didn't plan anything. He didn't do anything. But he was, in effect, part of the group, along with, I say, his brother-in-law and even his own brother. And so this is the day that he died. I'd like to read two lessons, Psalm 106 and also a gospel reading from Matthew 7. Psalm 106, verses 1 through 5. Praise the Lord, O give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His steadfast love endures forever. Who can utter the mighty doings of the Lord or declare all his praise? Happy are those who observe justice, who do righteousness at all times. Remember us, O Lord, when you show favor to your people. Help us when you deliver them, that we may see the prosperity of your chosen ones, that we may rejoice in the gladness of your nation, that we may glory in your heritage. And then Matthew 7, verses 7 through 12. Ask, and it will be given to you. Search, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, and everyone who searches finds, and for everyone who knocks, the door will be opened. Is there anyone among you who, if your child asked for bread, would give a stone? Or if the child asked for a fish, would give a snake? If you then, who are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give good things to those who ask him? In everything, do to others as you would have them do to you, for this is the law and the prophets. I recently read one of the newer biographies of Dietrich Bonhoeffer, written by a German theologian by the name of Christiana Tietz, entitled Theologian of Resistance, the Life and Thought of Dietrich Bonhoeffer. And she summarizes his final months. As I say, when the Gestapo discovered the resistant group's secret archives, Bonhoeffer, who was already in prison, could no longer hope to be released because he was implicated by those files, and implicated in particular in the July the 20th conspiracy plans, the attempted assassination. After a guard offered to help him, he briefly considered trying to escape from prison, and yet in light of his brother Klaus's arrest, and of course his brother-in-law, he decided against it, fearing that his escape would potentially endanger his family, as well as his fiancée. On October the 8th, 1944, Bonhoeffer was moved to the underground prison of the Reich Central Security Headquarters on Prince Albrechtstrasse. He was, on February the 5th, 1945, a major air raid destroyed the Reich Central Security Headquarters, so Bonhoeffer and 19 other prominent prisoners were moved on February the 7th to the Buchenwald concentration camp. On April the 3rd, the group was transported to Schönberg, Bavaria. Survivor reported later that Bonhoeffer held morning devotions for his fellow prisoners on April the 7th. He was then separated from the group, taken to the Flossenburg concentration camp. A fellow prisoner later reported that he gave this gentleman, this British fellow prisoner, a message for one of his contacts in the Church of England, George Bell. Will you give this message from me to the Bishop of Chichester? Tell him that this is for me the end, but also the beginning. With him I believe in the principle of our universal Christian brotherhood, which rises above all national hatreds, and that our victory is certain. Well, Dietrich Bonhoeffer was sentenced to death in a mock trial on April the 8th, on April the 9th, 80 years ago today. And tragically, only 1 month before the end of the war, he was hanged to death, along with some of the other members of the conspiracy in the German resistance. I read for you yesterday the reflection that he wrote entitled, Who Am I? Who am I? They often tell me. I came out of my cell calm and cheerful and poised like a squire from his manor. Who am I? They often tell me I speak with my guards freely and friendly and clear as though I were the one in charge. Who am I? They also tell me I bear days of calamity serenely smiling and proud like one accustomed to victory. Am I really what others say of me, or am I only what I know of myself? Restless, yearning, sick like a caged bird, struggling for life breath as if I were being strangled, starving for colors, for flowers, for birdsong, thirsting for kind words, human closeness, shaking with rage, power, lust, and pettiest insult, helplessly fearing for friends so far away, too tired and empty to pray, to think, to work, weary and ready to take my leave of it all. Who am I? This one or the other? Am I this one today and tomorrow another? Am I both at once, before others a hypocrite and in my own eyes a pitiful, whimpering weakling? Or is what remains in me like a defeated army, fleeing in disarray from victory already won? Who am I? They mock me, these lonely questions of mine. Whoever I am, thou knowest me, O God, I am thine. Bonhoeffer struggled, as any might in that situation, but in the end, he understood his life and his destiny as being a child of God and being faithful to the faith. And on this day, 80 years ago, he died for it. Well, we'll continue tomorrow, and I'll also be recording a piece on Bonhoeffer's meaning for today in our own situation. Why now? Why Bonhoeffer? So look for that as well. But until tomorrow, take care. We'll see you then.